Hi, folks. Thanks for joining us today. We're just going to give everyone about another minute to log on in here. All right. I think we can go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Technology Tuesdays. My name is Lydia Nimke, and I'm excited to bring you all today's presentation on Google Accounts and Google Chrome. This is the first in a series of Google Tools Tech Tuesdays, and it'll hopefully give everyone some of the info they need to take advantage of these powerful and free tools. You all are muted and have your cameras turned off by default, but please don't let that stop you from asking questions about today's presentation in the Q&A box down below and engaging in the chat. With us, we also have Beth Gabriel in the background.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Tech Tuesday. I'm excited to learn more about my Google account and Google Chrome. I use them all the time.
Me too. Thank you, Beth. All right, so let's jump in and get started. So the major concepts we're going to be covering today are getting to know more of what Google can do, how to create a Google account, and then we'll move on to discussing the Chrome browser and how you can customize it to suit your needs. And with that, let's jump right in. So you've probably conducted a Google search before. You may have even done thousands of them. You've probably also used Google News, image search, maps, or translate. But Google has many more services you can use. And in order to use them to their fullest extent, you'll first need to sign up for a Google account. What are some of these services that Google offers that you might want to use? Well, things like Google Chrome as your personalized web browser, Google Docs as your cloud-based word processor, Google Drive is another cloud-based document storage system. Google Assistant is the AI-powered virtual assistant. Google Sheets is your spreadsheet and data processing tool, also cloud-based, so you can access it from anywhere. Google Slides is your answer to like PowerPoint presentations and things like that. Google Calendar helps you stay organized and on top of your appointments. And YouTube, of course, is the most popular video sharing platform. And these are all Google tools that you can use with your Google account. A lot of these things we'll be learning about in a lot more depth coming up soon. But to use any of these services, our first step is going to be to create that Google account. So in order to create a Google account, you'll need to enter some personal information like your name, your birth date, and location. Creating a Google account will automatically create a Gmail email address. And if you already have a Gmail, you also already have a Google account. So you don't need to do these steps I'm going to go through on this slide. You can just sign into Google using your Gmail information. So what you'll do pretty much is go to www.google.com, locate the sign in button in the top right corner of the page and click create account. The sign up form will appear and you'll enter all that required information. You'll review their terms of service and privacy policy and then click next. And this is when you can create your sort of profile for Google. So you can add a profile photo if you would like, or you can add an avatar, or you can just click next step to skip adding a photo altogether. And that's pretty much it. Your account's created and the Google welcome page will appear. Now, just like with any other online service, it's important to choose a strong password. In other words, one that's difficult for someone else to guess. Let's talk a little bit about recovery information. We've covered this concept before a couple of times, but it's always worth reiterating, so bear with me here. If you forget your password or someone else gains access to your password, you want to have your recovery information listed on your Google account so that you can reset your password if you forget it or take back control from the ne'er-do-well. Google tries pretty strongly to suggest you add at least one piece of recovery information, but it doesn't force you to. You could skip for now the page that asks you to add your recovery phone number every time, but I don't suggest you do that unless you fully understand that you may lose access to your account for good at some point because of this. In my opinion, Google does do a pretty good job of protecting your personal information, and the information you provide for recovery is used exclusively for that. It's also important to update this information if you should happen to get a new phone number or lose access to a recovery email address. You just want to make sure you update it. So your account information stays safe, really. Google does periodically check in and make sure your recovery information is up to date, like you can see in this picture here. So that helps me a lot to know if I have an old information connected to an email address. So I do recommend adding in your recovery information, at least the phone number or an email address. Like I said, Google does ask for some of your personal information, but it gives you the power to control how much data about you Google is collecting. There are many different privacy tools that can help you modify your privacy settings, including the ad settings, web history controls, and the Google dashboard. Your Google dashboard or your Google account page is really your hub for accessing all of the things that are on this slide here, as well as it gives you things like privacy suggestions, security recommendations, and it is where your saved passwords will be. With ad settings, you can choose whether the ads you see are personalized based on your interests, brand preferences, and more. However, since not everyone likes ads based on their interests, you can turn that off or even see what information Google is using to deliver those ads to you. And we're going to go through this all in the demo portion after this section. And then your web history controls allow you to manage what is being saved or stored on your Google account from the various applications it connects to. We are going to go over this in the demonstration, but I just wanted to have it written out here so it's recorded. How to pause storage of your web and app activity. So by default, Google stores a history of web searches you perform, websites you visit, and the apps you use that are part of Google's ecosystem. And it uses this data to provide better search results and recommendations. However, if you would prefer that Google not record this information or not record certain types of information, you can pause the storage of your web and app activity. All you'll have to do that is from the Google account page, go to the privacy tools, manage your Google activity, and then go to activity controls and click to pause your web and app activity. It's pretty simple and we are going to go over it right now, but are there any questions about your Google account as a whole?
So far, I don't see any questions in the chat or the Q&A. Don't hesitate to put those in there while you have them, though, everyone.
Cool beans. Thank you, Beth. So to get to that Google account page, all we're going to do is in the top section here, I'm going to click on my profile picture and go to manage my Google account. And here we are on our Google account page or the dashboard. A lot of interesting things live here, so this is a good page to get familiar with. So we have privacy and personalization, security recommendations, our cloud-based storage, and some privacy suggestions, as well as our personal information, our data and privacy, security, people and sharing if you wanted to say connect Google accounts for easy sharing, and payment and subscriptions if you wanted to store credit card information for easy online shopping. But from home, we're going to go to privacy and personalization. And then we're going to scroll down that page. And here under ad settings, we see that our ad personalization is on. So let's click here. And we did look through this a little bit earlier, just seeing how much information Google has just from me simply using it. And we can actually toggle this off. We don't want personalized ads, we can turn it off. It does verify, and ad personalization is off. There we go. It's that simple. It does default to on, so you have to make a point to go in and turn it off if you don't want it to be on. Now, if we go down again, here in our history settings, on the same data and privacy page, we have our web and app activity, which is also on right now. And this section is also where you'll find your location history, as well as your YouTube history. So let's go in and turn that web and app activity off. And this toggle button right here, we're gonna click that. And it does want us to confirm pause web and app activity. Let's do it. Let's pause it. And now we are no longer recording our web and app activity. All right. So that's the easiest ways to kind of manage your data and privacy in the Google account. It does want a lot of information from you because that is, a main goal of most tech companies at this point in time, but it does give you some control in what you share with them. All right. Back to the presentation. That is basically your Google account. And now we're going to get more into Google Chrome. So Google Chrome is a free web browser that comes from Google, and it has quickly become a pretty popular web browser. And we're going to talk about some of the features of Google Chrome and how to download and install it. I will say that if you are happy using your current browser, a lot of the features, and by browser, I mean the thing you use to look at the internet. A lot of the features I'm going to talk to you today about are also available on other browsers. So don't feel the need to change what you're doing unless you want to try Google out. At the library, we have Google Chrome and Internet Explorer, I think, and Microsoft Edge, as well as Firefox. So if you want to just test it out without, committing to downloading something new onto your computer, feel free to come on down to the library and test it out on one of our computers and see how you like it. So some of the features of Chrome are, and these I got straight from Google, so they might be a little biased. Speed. Chrome was designed specifically with web applications in mind, so performances with websites like Gmail, Facebook, Google Docs, things like, YouTube are going to be pretty fast and reliable. Chrome does also offer a variety of security tools to help keep you safe online, and it's constantly updating. So you are more likely to be protected from some of the latest malware and phishing scams. I have shown you previous examples of Chrome's warnings whenever you visit a page that's potentially dangerous. Those big red pop-up signs that say, hey, you're going to a place that may be unsafe, go back to safety. Chrome also offers a lot of customization. You can customize it with themes and extensions to really make it work for you for your specific purposes. And then finally, a big reason why I love Chrome is its translation services. So whenever you visit a page that's in a foreign language, Chrome will automatically offer to translate the page to your native language. Of course, translation and this feature itself isn't always perfect, but it does open the door to millions of websites that you potentially may never have visited. And I find that even though, articles may be wrong, usually the noun and the verb in the sentence is correct and you can make, enough meaning out of it, even though it's a, automatic translation. So those are some of the general features you can think of from Chrome, and it's really easy to get. So using your current web browser, whatever one you're using, you'll just want to navigate to www.google.com/Chrome. Alternatively, you could just Google Chrome, and the Google Chrome download page will appear. You're going to want to locate and select the Download Now button. And you'll want to make sure that you're downloading the appropriate software for your operating system, right? So there's 32-bit Windows and 64-bit Windows. There's different Mac operating systems. So you just want to make sure that whatever you download is aligned with your operating system so that it'll work correctly. A dialog box will appear asking you to review Google Chrome's terms of service. Then you'll click Accept and Install, if you accept their terms of service, of course, and the installer will open automatically. And the download and installation process can vary. So it might take a few minutes, it might happen almost instantly, but whatever you do, step-by-step instructions will appear in that same browser window if you're not sure how to proceed. It might be a little different depending on what sort of machine you're on. When the installer is finished downloading Google Chrome, it'll close itself and Google Chrome will open. If you're using Windows, Chrome will add a shortcut onto your desktop. So whenever you want to open Chrome, you can just double click on that icon. You can also access it from the Start menu or pin it to the taskbar. And if you're using a Mac, you can open Chrome from Launchpad, or you can drag Chrome into the dock for fast access. So now that we have Google Chrome, let's take a short tour of it. We're going to take, do a more in-depth tour in an actual Google Chrome, not just the picture here, but these are always easy for me because I have a laser pointer. So here we have our basic navigation buttons. So you have your back button to go to the previous page, your forward button to go to the page ahead of that one. You also have your refresh button. Your home button would be here. I think I'll have to show you that in the live version. Here you have your address bar or your Omnibox. Some browsers use an address bar for navigating to websites and a separate search bar for conducting web searches, but Google Chrome combines these two elements into one bar. It's called the Omnibox. The Omnibox also offers suggestions for websites or potential word searches as you type, which makes navigating the web super fast for me, and that's why I really, really like Google Chrome as my own browser. So here you can either type in the URL of the website you are looking to visit, so www.mpl.org, or just type in the name of the website and go to one of the top results. So if I type in Milwaukee Library, mpl.org is probably going to be the top result. Over here, we have our bookmarks button, which we'll talk about in just a moment. We also have our extensions here, our profile picture, which helps us get to our account, and the Chrome menu, which is these 3 vertical dots. Up at the top here, we also have a variety of tabs. And you can have a lot of tabs open at once. And these are just separate web pages that are all open kind of side by side. So let's talk a little bit more about the windows and the tabs. So like all browsers, Chrome allows you to open new windows to view different pages. Chrome also allows you to open multiple websites in the same window using tabs. And tabs tend to be more convenient than opening several windows at the same time. But either way, to open a new window, you're going to go to that Chrome menu and then select New Window. Or you can press Control N on your keyboard. If you're a shortcuts lover, Control N is the shortcut for a new window. Same deal to open a new tab. You're going to press that plus sign to the right of all the open tabs, or you can press Control T. To switch between tabs, you'll click on any tab that's not currently selected. So in this picture here, we are in this Wellness Member Login tab. I could click this Hulu tab to go over to the left one, or click this YouTube tab to go over to this one. To close a tab, all you have to do is press that X symbol on the tab you wish to close, and it will go away. And we're going to go over opening a link in a new tab in our demonstration. So you can kind of not lose your place because you're exploring and browsing around the internet. You can keep your place on one website while opening up a link to another one. Another one of my favorite traits about Google Chrome is that it's also a web browser on mobile devices for both iOS and Android. The Google Chrome app allows you to browse the web, open multiple tabs, conduct searches, pretty much all of the same exact stuff you can do on the web. And it is very, very similar. And then you also have the option to sign into Chrome on your mobile device, which allows you to sync all your bookmarks, saved passwords, browsing history, and settings across all of your devices, as long as you're all logged in with the same Google account. That makes my life so much easier on a regular basis. So that is one of my favorite traits for sure. Now, browsing history is accessed through the Chrome menu by hovering over history and selecting history. Alternatively, another shortcut, you can press Control H on your keyboard. The history tab will appear with your full browsing history, so every site you've viewed in the last few weeks, and the list is sorted by date. So if you can see in this image here, the timestamps next to my visits are all in chronological order going backwards. So the most recent site I visited is at the very top here. And if you can't remember the exact web address or name of a web page you visited, you can try searching the history up here, which is really helpful if you were reading such an interesting article and you got distracted and shut down your computer or whatever the case may be. You can search here and try and find, what that website was so you can finish reading it. And even if you can't even remember the name of the website you're on, if you can remember, okay, it was Tuesday morning that I was reading this article, you can look it up by the times. Also very helpful. Whenever you do a search, that list of results will appear. And if you want to return to a website, you just click on the name of it right here. So when you're adding bookmarks, bookmarks are tools that most browsers have, which allow you to save interesting websites or things you want to easily visit again. You can organize these bookmarks into folders for easy reference. I have a ton of them. that I usually hide when I'm doing demonstrations for Tech Tuesdays, but I have them on full display today. So to add a bookmark, you can save any page you're currently viewing. You just click the star in the Omnibox to save the current page as a bookmark, or press Control-D. A dialog box will appear and ask you to sort it into the correct folders you want it to be in, and that bookmark is saved. Once you've bookmarked a website, there are a few ways to open the bookmark. So you can either start typing the name of the website into the address bar, and any bookmarks matching the text will appear with a star icon next to them. And you can click on that link to open it. Or you can use the Chrome menu, hover over bookmarks, and then click the bookmark you would like to open. Or you can use the bookmarks bar, which is located on the new page tab just below the Omnibox. And you can click a bookmark to navigate to that page. There is a way to make it so the bookmarks bar is always there if you prefer, like me. And you can make that bookmarks bar show itself or hide itself. Okay, we're gonna scooch on. Yes.
Lydia, were you supposed to be showing your screen on the computer while you were doing that?
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't think so, but
okay. Thanks for making sure.
No
you know
problem.
All right. If there are any questions, we can answer them now. Otherwise, we will move into the Chrome browser here.
There is one question. Maureen would like to know, is there a reason to not have two browsers?
I don't think so. It's like whatever makes you happy. Yeah. Whatever you'd prefer. If you like to use two, if you want to use one for one thing, I work a lot in Google Chrome, so maybe I wanted to use Firefox for school stuff or something like that. There are sometimes compatibility issues that you will run into, like a website won't display correctly on Google Chrome, or it won't display correctly in Microsoft Edge. But that's been happening less and less now. But there are sometimes compatibility issues that you may run into that might behoove you to have a backup browser. Maybe you don't go full hog and have a Google account and all that good stuff, but you just have it as a backup browser if you find a website's not displaying correctly. But yeah, you can have two browsers or three or four, whatever makes you happy and doesn't needlessly complicate your life, I guess. Thank you for the question. All right. So we are here in our Google Chrome tab for the Google account. So just to briefly go over the navigational tools we have here. So we can click to go back on this left arrow here, or we can hold to see a list of the pages we've recently visited. And we can also show the full history. So that'll be another way to access that history. Same way going forward, our refresh button is always my first stop. If a web page is not displaying correctly, I will hit that refresh button, and oftentimes that'll help it along to look correct. The home button I didn't have on that screenshot, but it usually is right after the refresh button. And here we have the Omnibox. So, like I mentioned, you can either enter the web address or you can just enter your search terms here. So because I know it, let's go to MPL. Ooh, do I know it? Let's go to mpl.org. And really easily and quickly, we're taken to the Milwaukee Public Library's website. Now, say I wanted to go to the Chicago Public Library's website, but I don't know their URL. So I'm just going to type in Chicago Public Library and press enter. And now we've just done a Google search, and we can click that first result there. And now we're on the Chicago Public Library's website. But let's go back to the Milwaukee homepage. So if I wanted to open the library catalog on this webpage, it is automatically going to open in a new tab for me. But say I wanted to check out this about the library page, that one's not going to open in a new tab. So I'm going to right click and click to open in a new tab. So that one opens separately from the page we were just on. We have a new tab that has opened. So we can review the information here and close it when we're done if we want. So moving right along, here is where we can go to add this page to our bookmarks. So right now I'm going to click add bookmark, and the bookmark has been added. You can change the name that it shows up as, which is often helpful, I find, because the name of the page might not necessarily mean a lot to you, but if you can change the name to that might mean some more to you, or something like that. And you have to choose where you're going to want to put it. So none of these folders are actually the folder I would put this in. So I'm just going to choose another folder. And then this box pops up and lets me choose from all the folders for my bookmarks I have. I would probably save this in the folder called MPL and save it there. Now I will say that folder is quite crowded. I have all of my tabs also up along the top of the page here. So if we go to MPL, don't judge me for all of the bookmarks I have in here, and go down to the bottom because our most recent bookmarks are going to be towards the bottom. We can click on that and it'll take me right back. I can also start typing in MPL and it'll be right there for me. I'm already on it several times, so no need to go further on with that. Now, I have my bookmarks bar showing right now, but normally I hide it going to the Chrome menu, going down to bookmarks, and unchecking show bookmarks bar. So it looks a little bit more clean, a little bit less cluttered. But usually when I'm working, I have all of these available to me so I can quickly find anything I'm looking for, stuff I'm using for work, whatever the case may be. By going to that Chrome menu, going to bookmarks and going to the bookmarks manager, let's check that out. So here is where you can search through all of your bookmarks. It's also where you can kind of organize and categorize things in a way that suits you. This is my work Chrome account, so it's all work stuff in here. So it's kind of all related. But let me show you my actual Chrome account. And we're going to do the same thing. Go to the Chrome menu, go to bookmarks, and go to bookmarks manager. So I have still tons of bookmarks, tons of folders, and I can open these up and decide I want to go back to my REI article and read that again. I can also from there decide I don't need a hiking folder anymore. So coming over here to the right, again, these 3 dots, that means there's more actions to be taken under there. I can just delete that folder. And now hiking has been deleted. So those are kind of some of your main tools for bookmarks. Another thing we can do that's pretty useful is reorganize them. So if this Scuppernong trail map was more useful in library jobs, you can just drag and drop it to put it in a new location. You can also drag the folders themselves up or down, and you can even drag them when they're in the bar to put it in a, if you want an alphabetical order or you want a frequency of use. You don't have to use these folders. I was on the internet a lot for school and still am for work. So I tend to save a lot of things so I don't have to needlessly spend time searching for them. But if you are mainly using, the internet for Facebook and your email and maybe going on Netflix and stuff, you can have Netflix, Facebook, and your email all lined up as your 3 bookmarks on your bookmarks bar. And then you don't have to type them in at all. You can just easily go in to YouTube, like that, or Facebook or Netflix or whatever the case may be. All right. Are there any more questions before we move on to some customization stuff?
I don't see any more right now. So yeah, I think we can keep moving on.
Wonderful, thank you. So the Chrome Web Store allows you to download different extensions and themes, which can make Chrome even more powerful and personal. The easiest way to get to the Chrome Web Store is honestly just to type Chrome Web Store into the Omnibox to conduct a Google search, and it should be the first result. Extensions add additional features to the browser. For example, they block advertisements. They can share a page with your social network. They can do screen recording or change your cursor. So much stuff. They're little bits of, extension to what would just be a browser. It's super easy to get them. You are, of course, are going to go to the Chrome Web Store, and then you're going to select extensions in the left navigation pane. Each page has a different, each extension has a different page that will explain to you, the user ratings for the extension. It'll show you some screenshots and things of that nature. Once you feel like you want to download the extension, you can go ahead and add it. It'll verify that you want to add the extension, and then you should be able to use it from there. I have downloaded extensions that I've ended up hating. So to remove an extension, you're going to go to the Chrome menu and select Settings. Select Extensions in the left navigation pane, and then a list of all the extensions you have will appear. You'll locate the one you want to remove, click Remove. Of course, they want you to confirm to remove the extension, and then it's gone. And you can always add it back. It's a really low stakes thing to add or remove. Similarly with your themes, you're going to be starting at the Chrome Web Store and select Themes from the left navigation pane. And you'll see a bunch of previews of different themes that you can install or learn more about. And adding a theme is really, really simple, but it will change the look of your Chrome browser. There's really no harm in trying one out. Just make sure that when you add one, that you can see what's written on your tabs clearly in whatever theme you decide to use. Sometimes it makes it really hard to read, and that's not really fun. Same deal, if you download a theme that you realize, oh, I actually can't read the words that are written on the tab, you can always remove it very easily. And you can either remove it by resetting your page to default or just add a different theme. And it'll kind of overwrite the one that is there currently. Now let's hop back in to Chrome and take a look at adding some extensions. So like I mentioned, we just added a new tab by pressing that plus sign there. And we're just going to type in Chrome Web Store. Chrome is auto-filling because it knows I've done this before. And we'll go to the first result. So we're looking at extensions now, and there is a whole gambit of them. So if you're searching for something particular, something that you know you need, you can search for the name of the extension. Otherwise, you can browse through the different categories that they offer. There's some fun things on here like games, some artistic things. I usually have a color picker in my personal one so I can match colors when I'm editing photos and stuff like that. And there are a lot of options here. So I'm just gonna scroll through to kind of show you the different sort of extensions you can get. So why don't we go ahead and download custom cursor. And we're gonna see a demo of it and some screenshots of what it looks like. We have a rating and we see it has 7 million plus users. So let's go ahead and add it to Chrome. Chrome verifies that custom cursor can read and change all your data on all websites. It's changing how the mouse cursor appears to you. Okay, you can do that. And as it kind of guides us, you can use this extension by clicking on this icon. So let's click on our icon. It's kind of hidden because there are a couple of them I have. And click on it there, and now we can change the cursor if we so desired. So that's festive. All right. So now we have a little broom as our cursor for the spooky season. Now, say I absolutely cannot stand this broom and can't figure out how to get it off. I don't want it to be here anymore. What I'm going to do is go to Chrome menu, down to settings. Over on the left-hand side here, I'm going to go to extensions, and it's going to open in a new tab, and we're going to click remove because we don't like the custom cursor anymore. And we remove it, and it's no longer messing with my mouse. Okay. Now, I have a couple of other extensions here just to kind of show you what all they can do. Loom is one I use pretty regularly. It is a screen recording extension that records my microphone, it records my screen and my webcam, kind of like Zoom does, but it's all an extension on Google Chrome. Oh, custom cursor, get out of here. So it can be quite a powerful tool, and there are a lot of other powerful tools that are just extensions that you might not necessarily hear of or know about unless you are looking for things to like enhance your Google Chrome experience. All right. So let's get out of Loom and talk a little bit more about themes. So we're just going to go back to the Chrome Web Store and switch over to themes. And as you can see, there are so many of these as well. I just have a black one on right now, and you can just choose a solid color, or you can choose something with some awesome art on it. There are a bunch of really unique and pretty options. So it's really up to you how you customize this, but I'm just gonna choose one here for now. Kind of the same deal as the extension. We add it to Chrome. And as you can see, boom, my Chrome window has changed entirely. I actually really don't like this, and I thought I would because it is kind of hard for me to read what the tabs are called. So we are going to definitely change that. And again, our two options are to put another theme on it. So let's go back and see if we can find one that's a little bit easier to read things on. That's a little better, I guess. So that is okay. Or if you don't want to change the theme, you just want it to be back to regular old Chrome, we're going to, go to our Google account. Oops, my bad. We're going to go to the Chrome menu and go to settings, and then go over here to appearance. And under theme, we're going to reset to default. And now we are just in the default night Google theme. All right. So I hope that makes sense. Are there any questions about Google Chrome? Anything I can show you that I didn't go over in as much depth as you wanted? Anything like that?
Let's see. I see a question from Margaret who is asking, how can you tell if an extension is dangerous? I use Grammarly. Is the paid version worth it?
I've personally never used it, so I could not say. A good way to tell, and I wouldn't say dangerous because Chrome does kind of vet the things that it lets you download onto its software, because there's a chance, like if you download some wild extension that's stealing all of your data, that's a huge security hole for Google, right? And Google does not want that. But you could tell that an extension may be glitchy or might not be the best extension by looking through those user reviews, or seeing that maybe only 3 other people have downloaded this extension. I probably wouldn't download that one. Yeah, mainly checking on that extensions page and seeing what information you can gather from there. But in general, Google is not going to let anything that's just trying to steal your information be in that Chrome web store, which they manage, because it leads back to them, right? Thank you for the question. Sorry, I don't know about Grammarly.
Let's see. I don't see any additional questions. If anyone has anything last minute they want to throw in the Q&A, that would be great. Otherwise, I think that's it.
Wonderful. I do want to mention the Google Tools series as a whole. Today, we're talking about Google accounts and Google Chromes. And not this next week, but the week after, on the 26th, we'll talk about Gmail and Google Calendar and how some tips and tricks for using those. And then in November, we'll move on to talking about Google Drive and some of the more popular tools you can use there. Things like Google Docs and Google Sheets, as well as Google Slides and Google Forms. So I hope some of you will join us for those. They don't necessarily build off of one another. If you miss this one, you probably aren't going to, be completely lost if you come to Docs and Sheets. But, they are all kind of interrelated and meshed together. So I encourage you to attend if you found this interesting. But next week, we are doing a Tech Tuesdays on online money tips. So if you haven't registered already, I'd encourage you to join us for that one. And tonight, I'd encourage you to check out MPL's book chat, which should be a fantastic affair. And you can register for that on MPL's homepage at mpl.org/calendar. And go ahead, Beth.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I'm excited about it. I'll be
Me
there.
too. Me
So will
too.
Lydia.
Yeah. So come and see us again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll drop the link right in the chat too if anybody wants
Thank
to
you.
grab that.
Awesome. So yes, thank you all so much for joining us today. You can look forward to receiving that follow-up email from me for reals on Thursday. I apologize for not sending out last week's. It just got uploaded today, so I'll be sure to get that one out to you as well. Once again, have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll hope to see you soon. Bye.
Bye, everyone.